when you're going through an A-level paper, this is question 6. So you try and get a sense. Usually in the middle, the tough gets going. So then at the end, it gets harder, right? So this question 6, you try to don't spend too much time also. I would say lah. But if it requires more time, by all means, just use it. Okay. So so for the first few questions, try to speed it up. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So they are told to sketch this equation of any asymptotes. I think this is pretty okay. Remember that the vertical asymptote, this is a. So y is equals to 1 over square root 4a x minus x squared. This case here, what you have is I would say factorize the x out. Then this is 4a minus x, right? So the vertical asymptote is where the bottom x 4a minus x equals to 0, right? So this case here, what we'll get is x equals to 0 or x equals to 4a. Okay, so that's it. Sketch C, give the equation of asymptotes in terms of a where appropriate. So what you do is you just key in the calculator. A is a positive value. Any positive value will do. So I use a as 1, then I just graph it lah. So this is the graph here. Zoom box, I'll just zoom here. Here. So the question, I think the main thing is, how come, does this mean that this side has nothing? Okay, so that's the main thing. And then whether you have a minimum point, right? This is 4 marks question. So you have to, in exam, just take a chill piece. So this is x equals to 0, then this is x equals to 4a, right? Not an issue. Then after that, you just draw it out. It should be like that. So the question now is whether this is a minimum point. Okay, what you need to understand is that this is actually a sequence of transformation of graphs, right? You start with, if say I were to draw this graph here, y, this guy here inside, y equals to x 4a minus x. How will it look like? This graph is clearly a quadratic graph, right? So this graph is clearly a quadratic graph like that. Then it cuts through like that, right? You understand what I'm saying? This is like so this graph is like that. I'm trying to get at why the shape is like that. So this is 4a here. So this graph is like that. Then when you sorry, the other side is set face. Quadratic set face, okay? Because it's negative. Now, then when you square root it, although it's out of syllabus, you must understand that when squaring it, when you square root it, right, what happens is that y equals to square root of x 4a minus x, right? This guy would disappear. Okay, the side will disappear because you can't square root a negative number. So when you square root x 4a minus x, right, it becomes this shape here. You can key in calculator, you can be able to see it becomes, I think it becomes this shape right there. Okay, this side would be it would be like that. Okay, when you square root it. Essentially, this is not the first time you see this kind of square root graph. It'll be like that. Okay. So essentially is what? It's actually, I think it's a y square. It's a circle, right? This is a circle. Understand? This is a circle graph, right? Any issue with this? If you, it's part of a circle. Y square equals to 4ax minus x squared. This is obviously a circle, right? This is a circle. This guy is a circle, right? So when you take the reciprocal of a circle, it will obviously be this case. So please understand that how come the side, you don't have anything at the side there, is because you start from this graph here, you square root it, it's actually a half of a circle. Okay, then you take the reciprocal. This guy here is actually performing, if you want to get the final graph, this is 1 of fx like that. This guy is a circle. Okay, so that's that. So obviously the circle, this is the max point here. This is the maximum point. It will become the main point here. Understand? You can, how do we find the, okay, if you follow my train of thoughts here, this circle here, you very easy, you can find this point here is actually 2a. Okay, so this guy will be 2a. If not, you can use dy dx to completing the square. That's the best. Okay, so how do we find this main point here? Many ways are this 2a. Okay, what you do is this case, can I just complete the square, the one inside here? Complete the square first. So I'm going to complete the square for the So this is y 4ax minus x squared. Okay, so I just complete the square for the inside. So if I complete the square for the denominator, okay, what I get is y equals to 1 over square root 4a squared minus x minus 2a squared. So the mean of y occurs when if you want the minimum of y, you should have the maximum of the one below the denominator, right? So that is the case there. What you do is when square root of 4a squared x minus 2a squared maximum. Hence x equals to 2a, y equal 2a. Okay, 2a, then you just replace 2a inside. You replace 2a inside, you realize that so for this to be maximum, x has to be minus 2a, x has to be 2a, because you need this to be 0. So y will be equals to 1 over square root 4a squared. Then this will just be 1 over 2a. So this guy will be 2a comma 1 over 2a. Okay. As you can also use dy dx to find the minimum point, but I think that is very inefficient. So as long as you have a quadratic equation, as long as it's a quadratic equation is involved, right? Just complete the square. Okay, I'm sorry. Actually, the minimum point is not required lah, because they never asked. Okay, so but I just drew it. So the smallest possible y, yes. So yeah, sorry. So part B, hence B, minimum value of y goes to 1 over 2a. Yeah, they never asked for the mean point for the first, but I actually don't really need the part there. So describe the so don't waste time doing all this. Don't waste time. I didn't read the question properly. Okay, so you don't need to do this one and this one. So this is just very neat 4 marks. Describe the transformation that maps C onto the graph of this. What's the difference? Oh, okay, I see the difference. So as far as this quadratic equation is concerned, you just change it, okay? Complete the square, and then you want to change this graph into this. So I'm gonna just write this down. Just use replacement method. So y equals to 4a squared minus x squared. Oh, it's okay, right? Just replace x with x plus 2a. Get this. Right, so transformation. Describe the transformation. So hence, translate. Translation of 2a units in the negative x direction. Okay, that's it.